Hey everybody, my name is Erica Putman and I am the Education Director with Friends of the Domes over at the Mitchell Park Horticultural Conservatory. And for the next few weeks or months, who knows, I am going to be providing you some virtual adult education workshops from right here in my own backyard, and we're gonna see if I can get used to talking on camera. Today we're gonna be talking about one of my favorite subjects ever, which is building raised bed gardens, like this one right here. So let's get started! Behold! 42 square feet of pristine raised bed garden right here on the beautiful south side of Milwaukee. Today, we'll discuss the benefits of raised bed gardening, the materials you're going to need. We're going to do some actual construction today. If you want to move ahead right to the construction part of this video, you can skip to this time here. Here we go with the voiceover. Okay, oh, we're moving fast. Okay, so if you're like me, you don't have x-ray vision, so you can't see a foot down into the soil to know what your food might be growing in. If you're not like me, you might see those contaminants. Milwaukee is an urban environment subject to runoff and the potential of lead from exterior paint in the soil. Considering that I'm growing food for my family, I want more control over what's going into my plants. I grow my veggies in an organic mixture of compost, sand, and peat moss. Because of the high nutrient content, I can practice what's called square foot gardening, where I can squeeze more plants into a smaller space due to the high nutrient availability in my soil. If I didn't have a raised bed, it may be more difficult to control this. If you have a raised bed, it's way more likely that your dog or yourself or your neighbor isn't going to step in your bed. Therefore, you're not compacting the soil. This will promote strong and healthy root growth. Check out my soil and compare it to the compaction in this soil. See the difference? Let's look at it again. My soil and then the other soil. I didn't really take many pictures for this video. I've got your back. Raised beds raise the ground up to meet you, and you can build yours even taller to prevent strain on your back. You'll also get to spend way less time pulling weeds and dealing with pests by installing weed prevention barriers, like this landscaping fabric or cardboard. Although building a raised bed requires a larger upfront cost, the hundreds of dollars you'll save on fresh produce year after year will more than make up for it. I only put about $20 into my garden each year after the initial install. First, you're going to want to choose your lumber. This is some beautiful Douglas fir. It is 2 inches by 12 inches by 10 feet I started with, so I'm going to have a 3.5 foot wide bed by 6.5 feet long, and that's just because that's the size of my opening that I'm going to have here. Now, I've chosen Douglas fir because it is rot resistant and it is the cheapest option of good quality wood for raised beds. The beds I made a couple years ago, I made out of cedar, which was quite a bit more expensive, but these are going to last a little bit longer, probably 10 to 15 years according to the internet, compared to 5 to 7 years of this Douglas fir. But I'll deal with that in 5 to 7 years. You may be thinking to yourself, but Erica, I don't know how to use power tools. Well, neither do I, is what I would have said 2 years ago before I started my first raised bed garden project. It doesn't matter what your gender is, or your size, or your experience level, anyone can learn to do these projects. Safety first. Good thing masks are in style right now. Make sure you have some safety equipment and some cool sunglasses. A cordless drill with a bit that can fit your screws. I've gone with 3-inch galvanized exterior screws. You're definitely going to want exterior or deck screws because those are going to be rust resistant because they're coated. I think that that's what galvanized means. And I've chosen 3 inches because I've got 2-inch thick wood. Once it's cut down, it's actually about 1.5 inches, which gives me another 1.5 inches or so of room to go through my second board. Make sure you have a good drill bit. My drill isn't the strongest, so I want to make sure I drill some pilot holes first. And then this is some landscape fabric. You can also use cardboard, and I've got this fun staple gun for installing my landscape fabric. You can also use a nice level to make sure that your bed is level as you're setting it on the ground. All right, we're all done. Just kidding. We're gonna be drilling our pilot holes so that our screws have somewhere to get started. And when we set up our bed, we're gonna have the prettiest wood on the outside. So I'll start my pilot holes here. I'll be doing 3 screw holes, but I'm going to avoid this split here because it's just gonna split more if I try to drill there. I'm not worrying about the holes going through into this board because this board we're going to be with the grain, so it'll be a lot easier once we get to that point. A splinter. No one ever tells you about the splinters.
Sorry.
I started my screws just so it'll be easier as we're filming because I'm gonna get my wonderful assistant to help out. I've just got the right bit on there to drive the screws into our wood, and then we will hold the other longer pieces up so that we can screw those in. Help! I need a buddy! Help! Oh, perfect. Takes a little grease. Yay! Are we having fun yet? Okay. Ah! We've lined it up. I've made sure that it's square using my square. Not straight. Now do you want to like show it off? And now you have a bed, a garden bed.
She's a much better actress this time.
Thank you, Ditsy.